Hi everyone, and welcome to today's card creation for the Craftie Cafe design team. We're going to be using the same Avery Elle stamp set from the last video a couple of weeks ago. I'm showing you another versatile way to use it. So we're going to be using a range of Distress Oxide inks and watercolor panels here, and then we're also going to be building the cups and saucers throughout 3 cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you first the Distress Oxide ink blending. So I'm going to use a range of colors. So I've started off here with Cracked Pistachio, and I've got some Salty Ocean, or no, Broken China. Do apologize. And I just wanted these 2 color combinations going heavy-handed on the side panels and then very light with a white in the middle, just to show that it is kind of blended, but still wanted to have that white element in there. Now each panel I'm going to distress spray and gently spray to create that little splatter effect. So I actually only just squeeze the trigger with just slightly to add the big droplets as well. So I've got the worn lipstick here and ink blending that. Now I am going fast, I'm really sorry. I'm actually a bit slow in the ink blending. I find the watercolor panels tend to soak up the Distress Oxide ink, so I just wanted to make sure I worked on the blend that I wanted to get. So then I ended up using the Tattered Rose in the middle and some Fossilized Amber on the other side. This is one of my favorite combos, and I really loved how well this combination went together. So I wiped with a chamois kind of microfiber cloth. In between, I wiped my Ranger mat. So it's actually really helpful having the Ranger mat for blending, because I always start off and then I work my way towards the inside of the panel. So got the Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink, then the Broken China, and then I bring in the Salted Ocean. And I didn't see that much of an ink difference blend, so I brought my faded jeans in to add a little bit of a contrast towards the end, just so you got to see the darker blue element. And then I blended all that in quite happily. And I was really happy. Almost looks like a galaxy effect there. All right, so here's my 3 panels, which I use on 3 cards. Now, because I'm going to be watercoloring with the Distress Oxide inks, I've chosen VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I will stamp a variety of cups of teas and saucers. I stamped 4 originally here, but I bring into view later on multiple sets that I also stamped as well and watercolored in. Now this sentiment, as I said previously in my other videos, that it has some beautiful arrangements to have a decorative element to your cups and saucers. So I bring into view and stamp a lot of them here. They have filigrees and just beautiful floral arrangements, as well as some swirls. I loved stamping these. I think it adds quite a intricate element to all of them. Now I loosely watercolor here. I am no watercolor expert. I just kind of very randomly, I suppose, sticking to the color theme of what the panels were, the blended panels were, but I'm just really just coloring into my leisure. I really had no kind of idea in mind, but I did want to have 2 colors on each cup of the colors that were according to the panel, just to kind of coordinate and match. If I felt like there was any excess color, I just picked it up with that microfiber cloth, and you can see here I'm actually just happily watercoloring in all of these in. Then I work, so that was my pistachio and my salty ocean, and then I clean the block every time, just so I can have almost like a clear palette. So I use my clear block to place the ink on and pick up ink like a palette. I do have a palette, but this was kind of within reach, so I actually didn't grab that. I just was a bit lazy, that's all. It was just fun for me. And I just really enjoyed this process. Now the Distress Oxide ink does kind of have that oxidization effect when reacting to water. So the cups and teas and saucers, the stamped image wasn't really prominent, you know, the details, but you could still see them through the Distress Oxide, through the Ranger, let me spit it out, the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I got there eventually, didn't I? Okay, so once I was happily painted all of these really with the Distress Oxide inks, I die cut them all out. But I enjoyed the process in the meantime. So this last one here was the Wilted Violet with the Salty Ocean. I really love this two color combo actually. It was really nice. So I wasn't really finicky, and if I found I put too much pigment of the Distress Oxide ink, I used a clean brush. I cleaned my brush off and made sure it was clean water on that, and then I just picked up any excess color as well or blended it in. So I create many of these, which I'll bring into view in 2 seconds, which I then die cut out. So here they all are. All different types of Distress Oxide ink color combos. Now to secure these down, I use some washi tape, and I just place 2 on either side of these every time I wheel them through the Sizzix Big Shot. I'm yet to get myself a Gemini. Who out there's got one of those? Give me some feedback. I'm seeing them all over the crafters YouTube world, and I'm absolutely loving the look of it. So it's probably on my wish list. I've got a birthday coming up in July. Maybe I could put that on my wish list. All right, so once all these are die cut out, I fiddle around with them all with each card. I thought I was going to do like a messy kind of look, and the OCD side of me crept on in and I made it all straight. I can't help myself. I thought that would have been good like that as is, and it would have been. But yeah, I'm sorry, but that just kind of played with my head a little bit. And I adhered all that down with some Tombow Mono. I do the same with this one here. All adhered down with Tombow Mono adhesive, straight on. And I thought I was just going to use the cups, and then I bring into view the saucers, and I like that far better. So once I figured out the layout of this card, I then stamp the sentiment on a die cut circle. That's an actual MFT circle, stitch circle there, and I stamp using the Distress Oxide ink the sentiment, but adhering all these down first. It was almost like a little bit of a balancing act, to be honest, doing all these. I kept having fumble fingers throughout today's video creation, and just kept wriggling. But, you know, I got there eventually with all 3 cards, but it was a fun process. You can see I just move things all the time. Once I've happily stuck all those down, I've got the Distress Oxide ink here. And I find these inks are really, really good to stamp with. I hope you are finding the same with them. I'm actually really enjoying it. Actually, it's quite a crisp image still that it leaves, and even for solid. So these have been my go-to for stamping for coloured inks. I'm yet to dabble into some other inks. I do use Lawn Fawn. I used to be a big fan of the Stampin' Up inks, but these Distress Oxide inks have really just tickled my fancy. Now I will adhere this sentiment down with some foam adhesive, and then start working on the next card. I've got some foam squares, all from Craftie Cafe, and these ones were from Couture Creations. I love how cute and small these are for intricate die cuts. These are really handy to have in your stash. They're quite small, and they seem to be really versatile. Quite thick too. I think it's like 2 millimeters. It's really quite substantially thick. and helps to pop off your sentiments or anything else. So here's the 3 card creations. One's on a diagonal, one's straight down on the left hand side. I've stamped the sentiment on the middle there and on the side, and that pink one was on the inside of the card. So all something different, all something fun, and I hope you enjoyed today's card creations. Here's some photos of close up of the cards, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe, and also visit me on all my social media platforms. See you later.